Good morning, true believers. Welcome to another episode of Back Issue Breakfast Club. I'm Hollis Thompson, the host of the Sunday Morning Superheroes podcast, right here on the back of the Cereal Box Network. Today, we're going to talk about What If issue 105 from 1998. This series explores the question of what if something relatively small or earth shatteringly major went different in the history of the Marvel Universe. This particular issue asks the question, what if the infant daughter of Peter Parker and Mary Jane from the Clone Saga storyline in Spider Man survived and got to be raised by Peter and Mary Jane? This issue is very interesting because it not only introduces May, or more popularly, Mayday Parker, but also an entirely new possible future for the Marvel Universe. This includes a completely new generation of the Avengers and a new iteration of the Fantastic Five rather than the Fantastic Four. The general plot is this: Mayday Parker is now a teenager, and her parents have never told her the true history of her father. Spider Man has been in retirement since May was an infant. During that time, he had one last epic battle with the Green Goblin, where Norman Osborn wound up dying and Peter lost one of his legs. After that, he decided to quit being Spider Man and focus on becoming a family man, providing for his daughter. He has become a police scientist, a forensics investigator, somewhat like Barry Allen in the Flash comics. And Mayday, as a teenager, is starting to realize that she's different from her friends, that she has some special abilities that include sticking to walls and a tingly sensation on her neck that happens whenever danger is around. At the same time that Mayday is realizing this, the grandson of Norman Osborn has become the newest Green Goblin. And this Green Goblin comes out and threatens Peter Parker, demands that he meet him on the famous bridge from their history to have a big, epic, final Goblin versus Spider battle. Peter Parker is very out of shape at this point and is no longer able to really be Spider Man and fight with Normie Osborn, the true name of this Goblin. However, Mayday uncovers the history of her father and an old Spider Man costume that he keeps in the attic. This is, you guys may recognize, the Spider Man costume worn by Ben Reilly, the clone of Peter Parker from the Clone Saga. She dons this costume and faces off against the new Green Goblin as Spider-Girl. You all might recognize Mayday from the Across the Spider-Verse film, where you got to see her as an infant with Peter B. Parker. If you are wondering where that character came from and would like to see who she will become, and maybe a preview of a character who will be coming up in a future Spider-Verse movie, I highly recommend digging up this issue online at a local comic book store or in the Complete Spider-Girl Volume 1 collection. This comic wound up spawning an entire Spider-Girl series that tracks the history of Mayday trying to step into the shoes of her father in this not too distant future of the Marvel Universe. As far as legacy stories go, which are stories about a new person coming in and filling the shoes of an established superhero, I consider this to be one of the best, right up there with Batman Beyond. Mayday is a really interesting character on her own. Even though she's Peter's daughter, she's a very different character from both him and her mother, MJ. And seeing her develop as a superhero, not because she herself has any particular trauma that drove her, but the sense of responsibility that she inherited from her father is a really interesting dynamic for a superhero origin story. It's also such an interesting take on the future of the Marvel Universe as a whole, and getting to see Peter interact with those new elements of the Marvel Universe as a now middle-aged man. And later on in the Spider-Girl series, Mayday interacting with those new Avengers and Fantastic Five is really, really fascinating. Once again, I highly recommend that you pick up this issue. It's also called Spider-Girl Issue 0. You might find it as that. It was reprinted when they started the new Spider-Girl series. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please consider becoming a patron of Back of the Cereal Box at patreon.com. Your support allows us to creating great videos like this and the Back of the Cereal Box podcast, Sunday Morning Superheroes, Cosplay Cafe, and all the other epic podcasts that we have. Thank you so much for your support, and we will see you next time.
It's like Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss,